Back. I recognize myself for 5 minutes. I'll begin first with just two points here. Part of the reason that you have this problem is that you have prosecutors not prosecuting. They're letting people out on DVs, or domestic violence, particularly misdemeanor charges, and they let criminals back on the streets. And that's a problem. I used to be a prosecutor who prosecuted domestic violence cases. I want to go now to the testimony that the written testimony, and Ms. Alcazar, in your opening statement, you said, the reality is that violent criminals, many with evil intent, do exist and are terrorizing us. Today, I want to be part of a respectful, productive dialogue about how we can empower and protect law-abiding gun owners, especially the rising demographic of women. Briefly, can you tell us what you think empowers women who potentially could be victims of domestic violence?
Yes, thank you very much for the question. And just to kind of summarize what I had intended to say earlier, it seems like we have a very big problem with the definition of empowerment here, because we keep hearing these ideas that, and I quote, "We failed to protect them. We protect her, we protect them." It's not about, that's not empowerment. If someone is failing to protect us, it's not their job to give us something or take away something or influence us in that way. To empower us means to allow us, enable us, and affect us in positive ways. And to empower women in this specific environment with the Second Amendment is not take away their options or say we failed in protecting them. It's saying, you know what, you protect you and we support that. And one way to do that is the firearm. The gun is never the solution. It is an option, and it is a protected option that anyone should be able to have if she so chooses so. And along with that empowerment comes the training and the resources and the commitment to make that decision for themselves.
Thank you. And Ms. I think, Ms. Solomon, I'm on you. You said in your statement, and you talked about this, I realized that I had to become my own first responder, responsible for my safety and that of my child. Please talk to us about that in relationship to empowerment.
I always tell people, do you know how long 90 seconds is? And 90 seconds is being generous when we talk about law enforcement responding. And we hear that domestic violence is the most dangerous call. So in those 90 seconds, if you don't have a firearm and you do not want to fight one or two attackers as a woman, that is a very long time. And so empowering yourself to be able to live and empowering your child is a God-given right.
I appreciate that. And you're right, 90 seconds can be like a long time. And quite frankly, where I live, the response time is closer to 12 to 15 minutes. Ms. Wachal, you said the criminal mind doesn't care about how many laws they break. Their focus is on finding a place with the least amount of resistance where they can cause the most death and destruction. Please tell us how the Second Amendment empowers you to counter people with malevolent criminal intentions.
Well, the way to summarize it is the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Someone that has the experience and has the knowledge of how to handle a firearm. And when these mass killings come up and criminals are looking for least resistance and doing the most damage, there is not any law that I think they would ever say, oh, I shouldn't do that because I'm not allowed to have a firearm. They've already made that decision. They've already broken ultimate law and wanting to kill somebody, just like my abuser wanted to kill me.
And I would just say, all of you had such compelling stories, all four of you, and very informative. I want to ask one more question to you, Ms. Wachal, because your statement said, we are being targeted and discriminated against politically, financially, and socially. When you said we, who are you referring to?
Women of all race, financial status, all women in the country. That's my belief. Yes.
Thank you. And I'm going to now, the question was asked by one of my colleagues across the aisle, whether the individual who was trying to attack the pregnant lady and her husband, or boyfriend, whoever that family member was he arrested? Yes, he was arrested, he was charged. And I'm going to enter that into the record without objection. Then additionally, we need to talk about what the real problem is in red states. It's blue cities. That's where the real problem is for violence. And so I'm going to introduce now a report called the Blue City Murder Problem, and do that without objection. With that, I thank the witnesses again. I thank each of you for being here.
I'd like to submit something.
Yes, please go.
Thank you.